Hey there, and welcome to episode 35 of the Unapologetic Mompreneur podcast. This episode is another incredible guest episode where I am chatting with the amazing Lora Ulrich, where we are talking all about a topic that is so important for us as busy mompreneurs trying to juggle all of the things and thrive both at home and at work as a mum and as the boss of our businesses. And that is you versus stress and how to be the winner. Lora is a certified holistic nutritionist and executive wellness coach, helping busy peri and menopausal women crack the code to living a healthy lifestyle so that they can reduce belly fat, boost energy, balance hormones, increase their confidence, feel great, and love their bodies. As a professional, she knows the science behind helping women feel great and love their bodies. As a woman, she understands the demands of real life and the struggles, traumas, and baggage that can get in the way. Her proven, actionable holistic wellness coaching and programs have helped thousands of women. She offers private and group coaching and self-directed online programs so that you can find an option that works best for your life and goals. She's also a team and corporate speaker. Her most popular keynotes are You versus Stress, How to Be the Winner, which is what we are going to be diving into today, and Healthy You, Healthy Bottom Line. If you are struggling trying to do all of the things or find that you are spinning in circles, being pulled every which way, and finding it hard to find the time and energy and motivation to do all of the things that us busy mums with businesses need to do, you are going to love this episode because Lora and I are diving in and talking all about how to recognize the signs of stress and how to keep it at bay so that we can go from surviving to thriving. She's going to be sharing a few different tips and strategies that you can do and how to focus on your nutrition, your work environment, working from home, your home environment and finding that balance, the self-care, and how to put it all together so that you can be in charge and be the winner and keep that stress and overwhelm at bay. This is such a great episode and such a great conversation. So go and grab that cup of coffee, curl up on the sofa and dive in. And if you have got YouTube as well, definitely go and check out this episode on YouTube because Laura's actually sharing her presentation that she has got with this as well. So we can get to see it visually too. So you'll find the links to that in the show notes. But yeah, go and get your coffee, curl up on the sofa and join Lora and I as we talk all about you versus stress and how to be the winner. Welcome to the Unapologetic Mompreneur, the podcast for mums with an online business who are ready to take back their time, home, business and self so they can restore the balance and thrive, both at home and at work, without feeling like they have to choose between the two. I'm your host, Sarah Dew, life and biz coach for mompreneurs. I'm also a mum, stepmom, wife, introvert, breast cancer survivor, and your mentor for making a change for the better. I've learned how to go from surviving to thriving and unapologetically create a business I love and the life I want for me and my family without worrying about what other people think. And now I'm here to help you do the same. Because being an unapologetic mompreneur doesn't mean that we're selfish or that we don't care about others. It simply means that we are not afraid to show up as our true, authentic selves, to step into our purpose, do what we know is right for ourselves and the ones we love, and take the steps we need to take to make our dream life and business a reality. Join me each week where I'll be sharing all of my best tips and strategies, plus the occasional dose of tough but gentle love to help you feel empowered, motivated, and confident to take action so that you can become the mum, wife, biz owner, and woman you know you are meant and deserve to be. So, are you ready to unapologetically create a business and life you love? Let's do this. Hey Laura, thank you so much for coming on and joining us at the Unapologetic Mompreneur podcast. Super excited for you to be on the show and share with us what you're going to share.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much for having me. And I love your mission, the Unapologetic Mompreneur. Bravo.
Thank you. Yeah, we were just talking before we jumped on and hit record anyway about how our missions are very much aligned and how it fits so well together and everything. So I'm super excited about what you're going to share and diving into all about you versus stress and how to be the winner. And I think as mums juggling business and home life and all things, it's definitely something that is so important for us to be on tap with. So I'm looking forward to you diving in and sharing for us. But just in case anybody who hasn't met you before, do you want to just share your journey, who you are, what you do, who you help, and just give us a bit of an insight?
Sure. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm excited to connect with you and do this with you for your listeners as well. So again, my name is Lora Ulrich. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist and executive wellness coach. And I focus on helping busy perimenopausal and menopausal women crack the code to living a healthy lifestyle so that they reduce belly fat, boost their energy, increase their confidence, balance their hormones so that they really can feel great and love their body, right? Like there's nothing that zaps our joy more than not feeling good or not liking the way we look, right? So I'm really loving that this is my mission and my passion. And the reason why is because I grew up very sick. I mean, I've been a wellness practitioner for 28 years. And growing up, I was sick. I had asthma, allergies, thyroid issues. I had fibromyalgia before it was a word, food allergies. I remember when I was in fifth grade, I had my tonsils taken out and they found out that I had an overactive thyroid. Well, as a young teenage girl, I found out really quickly that if I did not take my medicine, I would be super skinny. Fast forward, when I was 17, I was in the hospital for the second time and my dad didn't know what to do. The doctors suggested that they give me radioactive iodine, which completely zapped my thyroid. And I'm on a lot of thyroid replacement, but that started my physical, mental, spiritual torture of weight gain and weight loss, weight gain and weight loss. And I had migraine headaches and I had a liver disease. And then I ended up having a total hysterectomy in 2019. And that brought on, I mean, I was in perimenopause for a very long time because in my early 50s, I still had my period. And then with that total hysterectomy, that brought on the understanding of what my postmenopausal women were going through. And so that's why that's my mission and passion of helping women in both of those phases of their lives, because I've been there, done that, and know how it feels to be on the other side, regardless of what the doctors say, right? We can do things to help us feel good, body, mind, and spirit. And especially for mompreneurs or any kind of entrepreneur female for that, even if they're not a mom anymore, it's just, we do all the things.
Yeah.
We don't have to do all the things. We can let go, which is so hard sometimes. So I'm excited to share the information that I have with you and your listeners.
Amazing. I'm really looking forward to diving in this with you. And it's such an important topic. And like you said at the beginning there, that everything that we do and our confidence for doing things is all tapped into how we feel and looking after ourselves, being comfortable with our bodies. And it's just, and being able to just function and perform and do the best in our business, do the best by our families. It's such an important topic. So I know that you've got a little presentation for us. So those of us that are tuning in and being able to catch it on the podcast and on YouTube as well, you'll be able to see the slides. So go and check it out on YouTube as well. And you'll find the link for that in the show notes. But I'm going to hand over to you, Laura. I'm going to share your
Thank
screen
you.
and we'll just
Sure.
dip in and away you go on your session. And then if bits come up in between, and then we'll recap together at the end. So at the end. So yeah, it's over to
Perfect.
you.
Thank you, honey. And I love what you said, because I often say to my clients, the better we feel physically, mentally, and spiritually, the more equipped we are to be successful in our personal and our professional lives, right?
Totally agree.
It's so interconnected. All right, let me share my screen.
Hey, let's do this.
Woohoo! Excuse me. So if I put it on slideshow, and you know how when you're on, it always lags. There we go. Okay. So again, you versus stress, how to be the winner. to achieve what really matters most in your life. So there are so many effects of stress. It affects our immune system. It affects our work performance. Like Sarah was talking about, it affects our family life, our friends, our mental outlook, and basically our overall joy, right? I know when I'm stressed out, my world becomes like very narrow and the joy goes out the window because I'm trying to figure out either how to do it better or how to do more. When really, if we just take a breath and relax, we're more effective, right? But stress impacts everything. Here are some life lessons. Your life will never get less busy. I hear ladies all the time say, "Oh, when the kids are gone, when the kids are in school, when dot dot dot." Your life is never going to get less busy.
That's
If
so
you're
true,
a go,
isn't it?
right? If
So
you're a
true.
go-getter, and I don't know any mom that's not a go-getter, right? Like when the kids are gone, even when you're retired, you're going to be busy because you're going to be doing things. So your life is right now, and it is your life, regardless of your career, your family life, whatever, your life is yours. And we get to create the life we want today. We don't have to wait until tomorrow. So really, there are some things that we can think about and implement where it will help us to better be the author of our life every day. So one thing I'd like you to think about is that everything we do is about energy, right? Everything is about energy. And whatever is going on is either going to restore and raise our energy, or it's going to minimize and deplete our energy, right? Do you agree, Sarah?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's so important to be mindful of that, of knowing what we take on and what we say yes and no to. And that is just fits so well with, like, we know that we're never going to get less busy. There's always things going on, and life has that habit of throwing curveballs when we least expect it. We know there's always going to be things going on. And it's just what you said about, it's your life right now and create the life you want today. That just fits so well with what we all talk, what this podcast represents of the unapologeticness of creating what you want and not being afraid to do the things that are right for you and being the author of your own life. It's such an important thing to have that fulfillment and happiness. We have to be the author of our lives and do the things that we know are right for us and our families. And it all comes back to energy of, knowing and being aware that things, what raises and what depletes our energies and being in tune with that. So important.
Yeah, so important. I'll share a little story. So I do Club Pilates in the morning from 10 to 11. That's my happy time to go work out. And as I was on my way back, and I'm on East Coast time. I'm in Florida in the US. And so on the way back, I was rushing. We have traffic here in Florida. There was some construction. People weren't driving the way I thought they should be driving. So I went around them and I got pulled over by an officer because I was speeding in a construction zone.
Mhm.
And I was so upset with myself. I knew better, but I was in a rush, whatever. And when he pulled me over and I rolled down the window, my brain instantly went through all of these things that I wanted to say to him of excuses or reasons or whatever. And
Mhm.
I literally, thank goodness I had a download. It was like, you were speeding. Get over yourself. Just take a breath, relax, and it is what it is. You're going to have to accept the consequences. And that was very interesting. And he was very, very nice to me. I got a ticket still, but he was nicer to me
Uh-huh.
than he needed to be,
Mhm.
which was interesting. But it just helped me instead of being completely stressed out where my heart was racing and feeling like I could have done it differently. I just leaned into it and was like, well, I messed up, move on.
Yeah,
So
that's so
that's
true. So even though we
taken
have
a long
we do
time.
the we can't always control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. But even if we know that we've done, like you said, we've had moments where we've messed up and okay, we maybe think we could have done better, we still have that choice then of going forward how we respond, don't we? Which is probably why, okay, you still got a ticket, but it was probably why he was that little bit nicer to you.
Probably because I wasn't all, and I called my husband. He said, "How long ago did this happen?" I said, "It literally just happened. I just drove away from the officer." He said, "Well, you're very calm right now for that." And I was kind of proud of myself.
Awesome.
All right, so I would like you to think about, when I'm talking about each of the 4 areas that I'm going to discuss, each category, rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, okay? And then pick one thing in each category that you can implement to raise and restore your energy, that you will commit to actually doing. And then remember, it just needs to be one. And then pick one thing that lowers and depletes your energy that you're committing to remove. Okay, so one thing that's going to raise and restore, and one thing that you'll commit to removing that is lowering or depleting your energy. And then think about how would those things, those 2 that you're going to pick, how would they contribute to the quality of your life, your health, your happiness, your success? And if you've now thought about the things that can raise and deplete, and you don't do something, what if you don't do anything about it? Then what? Okay.
That's really good questions to make you just sort of really just focus, and knowing also that you only need to pick one for each as well, without, like you said, we can't do it all, that just that one thing can make all the difference.
Can make all the difference in the world. I tell my clients all the time, if you've taken 2 steps forward and 1 step back, you're still 1 step ahead. It's the small, it's the small, consistent daily actions that make the most significant impact in your life. It's not the big things that we do once in a while.
Absolutely. That is such a good way to look at it, because I think sometimes we can beat ourselves up that we're always feeling like we're taking those steps back. But actually, if we remember that we've already maybe taken 2 and we're 1 step, we've still taken that 1 step, and we need to remind ourselves of that.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so the first category is around nutrition. Think of nutrition as the foundation for your home. Your nutrition is the fuel for your body, your brain, your energy, everything, okay? So what we eat directly affects how we feel, how we think, how we perform, and how we interact with others. We are exactly what we eat, right? I mean, you've eaten something and you either feel energetic or you crash and burn, right?
Yeah.
My husband knows if I haven't eaten enough, because then I'm hangry and I'm ready to rip his head off.
I would say the same, but it's probably the other way around. It's my husband that gets the cranky one.
Oh, really?
He has the hangry moments, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I get like that. Okay, so we can eat and drink for raising and restoring our energy, okay? So some training on this, some coaching. You want to eat, it depends. I say 3 to 5 meals per day, but 99% of the time, people are eating 3 to 4 times a day, because it depends on what your day looks like. You want to eat about every 3 to 4 hours to keep your energy stable, and so that you're not on a roller coaster. Back in the day, we used to talk about eating every couple of hours, right? That's really not only breaking our metabolism, but it's messing with our insulin, which is going to mess with our energy. So, I mean, if you're up a bazillion hours, then maybe you can fit 5 in, but really you want to think about 3 to 4 times a day that you're going to eat, and about every 3 to 4 hours. You want to make sure that you eat your protein with your fruit or your vegetables every meal. I always say 1 fruit a day, the rest vegetables. Vegetables are the carbohydrates that give you energy. They're like the hero of the story. It's not that you don't want carbs. We just don't want the high glycemic carbohydrates that are going to spike our blood sugar. Then we crash and burn. Okay. You want to make sure that you drink water all throughout the day. it is way more effective for you to be drinking a little bit of water, kind of like I was talking about. It's the small, consistent daily actions, drinking a little bit of water all throughout the day, rather than like my husband will slam a 16-ounce bottle of water. Your body's not going to really absorb it as well. And so you want to think about a minimum of 64 ounces. Some people also talk about half of your body weight in ounces. That doesn't always work though, because I drink way more than half of my body weight in ounces. And my dad, who's 300 pounds, is not drinking 150 ounces of water, right? So if the half your body weight doesn't work, then definitely stick with a minimum of 64 ounces. And here's a tip: by the time you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. So you want to be drinking your water before you get thirsty. Add in more vegetables into your life. I already said this. I know my grandma rolls over in her grave when I'm preaching about this, because when I was a kid, all she did was talk to me about eating my vegetables, and I never listened to her, right?
Absolutely. It's definitely a childhood thing, isn't it? We grow up hating our veggies, and then when we become adults, actually we realize they're not that too bad after all.
No, they're not too bad, and they're the hero of the story. It's like we know when we understand the return on investment or the return on time, right? We understand that what we eat is going to make us feel better. Then I'm all about that. Like, it's going to give me more energy. Give me those vegetables. But again, make sure that you eat protein with that too. And it doesn't matter whether it's animal protein or plant-based protein. You want to lower or eliminate caffeine, alcohol, and sugar. Okay, whoever's listening to this podcast, do not turn me out. If you heard me say eliminate, for you it may be lower, right? You want to lower or eliminate, depending on what's applicable, the caffeine, alcohol, and sugar. Did you know that alcohol is actually a depressant? We do
Yeah.
not need, as ladies, we do not need more things that are going to depress us,
No,
right?
that's very true. Very true.
And you want to be finished eating at least 2 hours before going to bed, even if you're eating healthy, because you want your body to have time to do its job digesting your food before you go to sleep, so that this way, when you're sleeping, your body is actually resting, digesting, and recovering, resting and recovering, sorry about that, rather than if you eat right before you go to bed, you're sleeping, but you're really not completely sleeping, because your body's doing work while you're sleeping. So you don't literally get the rest and recover as well. That makes sense?
Definitely. Yeah. You need that wind down time, don't you? Because then otherwise you're also laying down, you're uncomfortable and you're full and it's, yeah.
And you don't sleep as well, even if, I mean, you either wake up or you don't wake up, but you wake up in the morning and you haven't gotten restful sleep. So again, think about one thing that you can implement that will raise your energy, and one thing that you can eliminate from this list that will help you restore your energy as well. Something that you were doing that didn't fit in here that was depleting your energy, like maybe it was not drinking enough water or something like that.
Awesome. I know for me, definitely it's bringing in the 3 to 5 meals, because sometimes I'm really naughty and I skip breakfast, and I know I should be doing that, and sometimes just have the 2 meals a day. So that's interesting to
Yeah.
balance it out, and less caffeine for me. I like my coffee. I'm good with my water, but I do like my coffee as well.
Good job. I'm going to speak to that about the missing breakfast in a second. The last thing too is making sure that you take a really good, high quality multivitamin, fish oil, and probiotic. They're the core foundation for our supplementation, and supplements supplement the nutrients that we're not getting from our food. And when I say a good, high quality, not that the company is saying they're good, make sure that supplements that you're choosing, there are outside independent agencies and laboratories that are verifying efficacy and purity. One of the things I want to backtrack on is when you said you sometimes skip breakfast. So everybody hears about intermittent fasting nowadays, right? If you have a longer fasting period in the morning, that's okay. I mean, in the perfect world, is it better to eat early and be done eating dinner early? Yes, but this is also real life. I'm the nutritionist and I can't get it together to eat early. So my breakfast is literally at 11:30 a.m. But I do a longer intermittent fast, right? I finish eating dinner by 7:30. and I don't go to bed until about 11. So it's okay if you're not eating first thing in the morning.
Okay.
However, if you're only eating 2 times, meaning you are not eating more than 3 to 4 hours in between, then you definitely want to at least add one more meal in there, Sarah, and get at least 3 meals in.
Awesome. Interesting.
Okay, that was nutrition.
Ooh.
That's the big
Okay.
one.
Excellent. So what's next up?
The next up is exercise. Everybody hears exercise, but it really is good for us, right? We're able to better manage stress. Think about when you're completely stressed out and you work out, you get more oxygen to your brain, and then you're not thinking about what was stressing you out, and then you feel better, right? It produces endorphins, you feel better. It helps you manage stress. It improves all health parameters. You're able to recover quicker. And like I said, it reduces endorphins. So even though, I mean, I do not love exercise. I love the benefit that I receive from it. So I make sure that I do it. So that was a way for me to flip the switch in the mindset for my own self when I was like, oh, I don't want to go work out. Well, of course I'm not going to go work out if I am saying, oh, I don't want to, right? So now when I'm like, ooh, let me focus on what the benefit I'm going to receive from it, it makes it so much easier.
Excellent.
So some of the things about exercise, make it non-negotiable. I know one of the things that I love about going to my Club Pilates class is that I pay per month. And if I don't cancel before 12 hours, I have to pay basically a fine, right? I have unlimited classes for my once a month fee, but if I cancel within 12 hours of my class, then they will charge me $10. I don't want to pay that extra $10.
Yep.
And so that helps me even more.
Having that consequence, yeah, definitely.
Totally. But even without having the consequences, making it non-negotiable, I really work super, super hard at not scheduling somebody on top of the time. It's non-negotiable. From 10 to 11, I'm not available, and actually more because of drive time. So non-negotiable. Make time in your schedule and actually schedule it. I know for me, if it's in my calendar on my schedule, it's going to happen. If it's not in my calendar, I may not even remember what it was that I wanted to do. So make time to schedule. Perhaps hire a personal trainer or work out with a friend or go to a studio that you like. And for goodness sake, do something fun. If you don't like CrossFit, don't do CrossFit. If you think hiking outside or walking is fun, do it. Just do whatever is fun and it will help. If you're working out outside of the home, then support yourself by having a gym bag at the door the night before. So you don't have to run around in case you overslept or the kid got sick or something else happened, life threw you a curveball, like you said, Sarah, and you're already prepared. There's no excuses. You already have your gym bag. And start slow. If you're not exercising right now, start with 5 minutes, start with 7 minutes. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. And then work up to 30 to 60 minutes, 5 to 6 days a week. And if you wanted like a guidance of what kind of exercise, think about 3 cardios, 2 weights, strength training, and then 1 exercise day that's more mind body, and then 1 day off. Again, you think I'm doing a Club Pilates commercial here. I just love it so much. One of the reasons why I love going there is because any of the 4 classes I go to hit cardio, strength training, and mind-body connection because they're constantly teaching me how to breathe properly. And then always have a day off.
I like the day off. No, I think it's such an important thing to build the exercise into, and especially for mums when we're working at home and we've dropped the kids off at school, but then anything like me, once my boy is at school, I'm sitting at my desk. I get
Mm-hmm.
up for 20 minutes, maybe at lunchtime, and then I'm back in front of my desk for another 2 or 3 hours and I'm not moving. And I've just recently, like literally like the last 6 weeks, decided, right, I've got to get my backside moving. I've got to do something. But it always had to come down to being something fun because I kept putting it off and I didn't want to do it. I was picking exercises that I just didn't enjoy. Even just the thought of workout made it feel like hard work. So
Right?
I've now found myself some, some videos that I've some walking exercises with a bit of dancing that I do on YouTube, and I absolutely love it. And since that, I've got up to almost every other day, every day, with maybe a day off over the weekend where I don't do it. But it's just by building those things in, it has made such a massive difference. And I do it first thing in the morning when I've dropped Harrison off at school. And then I go to my office and I am so fired up, so more invigorated. I can think more clearly and I have such productive more mornings on the days that I
Mm-hmm.
come and work after I've done exercise. And I really have amazed myself the difference it's made.
I love that, Sarah. And also too, for people, it doesn't, if back in the day, they used to say, you need to have your 30 to 60 minutes all in one chunk. Well, if you only have 10 minutes 3 times a day, do it. Obviously, even if you only have 10 minutes once a day, do that too. But just know it doesn't have to all be done at once. I love, Sarah, how you're doing that right when you come home after dropping
Mhm.
off the kids at school, so that you get that done before you pit bull into your work. And then maybe perhaps you'll want to have a little dance break in the afternoon if you're still at your desk for a few hours, even if it's 5 minutes. I love
Mhm.
that.
Awesome.
Good job, Sarah. Okay, next category is work environment. What stresses you out, aka zaps your energy at work? What relaxes and restores you at work? Oh, when I did this exercise for my own self, it was an eye-opener. Number one, eliminate time wasters. You can figure out what your own time wasters are, right? Perhaps it's an hour meeting that really only needed to be 15 minutes.
Mhm.
Perhaps it didn't even need to be a meeting. It could have been an email. Like, just things to think about, right? I remember I used to say, I'm not doom scrolling on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. I'm market researching. Well, an hour later, I'm no longer market researching, right? I'm trying to go numb, right? So thinking about what kind of time wasters, what you can eliminate. Make your assistants your allies, or perhaps hire an assistant. I finally hired an executive assistant a year ago, January, has saved my behind. But I know so many ladies, especially mompreneurs that have VAs, that are not making their assistants their allies, right? In the beginning, it seems like it's more work than it's worth because you have to explain to them what to do. Honey, let those ladies go. Let them do their job. They're there for you. You teach them, you see what they're doing, you can check in, they're going to report back to you. Let them step into their own excellence as well and let them help you like you've hired them to do. Breaks. Ooh, this kind of same thing as the working out, right? Breaks between meetings. Perhaps shut your door for 10 minutes, whether you're at an office or whether you have your home office. Who are you shutting your door on? I don't know. Maybe it's nobody home and it's just the cue that you are shutting the door and taking a break for yourself. Maybe you don't want the critters bothering you because they're interrupting your work too much. Maybe the kids are interrupting you. Like, I know so many mompreneurs that have trained their family that if the door is closed, they better not open that door unless the house is on fire. Like, it can wait.
Definitely, we totally have that rule in our house. If the door is shut, now, unless the house is on fire, you're bleeding or something, then do
Right, or
not
you're bleeding.
disturb. Yeah, exactly. But once the door's open, they know that they can come in, and it just comes down to boundaries as well, doesn't it? I think of boundaries for yourself as well as just generally. And there's
For
so many
sure.
things that we're doing during the day that are time sucks on our time, and I think
For
like
sure.
when you said about the VAs and the assistants, it can be hard sometimes to let those things go. But you're right, we're bringing extra people in or outsourcing so that we can free up our time and
Mm-hmm.
make life easier. So sometimes it can be hard, but we have to make that decision to just let things go and to do and make things life easier for us, don't we?
Absolutely. It's hard in the moment, but again, think about the benefit that you're going to receive for sure. And also something that just popped into my head when you said, or unless the kids are bleeding, right? Well, if dad's home, dad can take care of it too. It's not,
Hmm.
mom doesn't always have to take care of everything,
No,
even
absolutely.
though we think we're going to do it better, right? Another way to take a break in between meetings is literally to breathe. If it's only 16 seconds, I love that boxed breathing where you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4. And I've seen many different variations on that, like breathe in for 8, breathe out for 8, whatever. As long as it's just something, take, like right now, my legs were crossed for some reason. So put both of your feet on the ground. Take a deep breath. Instantly, I feel my shoulders coming out of my ears. It'll lower your cortisol. Like, I love to get up out of my desk and go over to the living room because I have this huge slider and I can see the lake. I can see if my outdoor kitty is in the lanai, just anything that's going to give me a break and lower that cortisol. And another thing too is to schedule your week. When we schedule our life, allowing for life to happen, right? Don't schedule yourself back to back to back, but scheduling your week actually helps us to be more effective as well, especially for work. All right, home environment. Again, what stresses you out, saps your energy, what can relax and restore you at home? What could you add to your home life that would raise your energy? And most people are like, I don't know. Good thing to think about. What could you add to your home life that would raise your energy? How can you, quote unquote, buy 5 hours per week? You could hire a household goddess. I have cleaning ladies that come in once a month. I don't have kids at home anymore or animals, so they come in once a week. Who can help with the dishes, the laundry, the cleaning, the admin stuff, the errands? Like, who can help? I remember when my son used to do the dishes when he still lived at home. And in the beginning, when he did the dishes, he didn't do the dishes correct as far as I saw it. And so I would go behind him and redo the dishes. My husband was like, Laura, it doesn't matter whether the dishes are facing north or south, they're still going to get clean. And I had to let that go. I realized my ways, like, well, although I still thought my way was the correct way, they still got done. Let the kid do the dishes and don't fix it. Like, those are the kinds of things. And ladies, I used to always say, honey, will you do me a favor? Will you do this in the house? He's not doing me a favor. He's doing our family. He's a favor. He's doing his job in taking part of the family. It's not doing me a favor, right? But a lot of the husbands feel like they don't want to step on our toes because we just do all the things.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps it's time to have a conversation of who's going to do what chores, kind of like we do with our kids, right? You take care of
Yeah,
this, and this, right? My
absolutely.
husband, I love that. I mean, like, my husband actually does the dishes. Our dishwasher broke. It's only the two of us. It feels like forever to fill the dishwasher. So my husband does the dishes. My husband takes care of everything outside the house. I do things inside the house, but I hire a cleaning lady to help me as well. So it's just, perhaps it's time to have that conversation on who can help within the home or who can you outsource to help you within the home.
I love that. And it's so important. I think it's important twofold of having that conversation. It's both, like you say, with with the spouse and with the kids and get them on board, but also that conversation with ourselves that it's okay to let those things go. That, it's one of the things I talk a lot about my clients when we're looking at the love your family pillar, to be able to spend more time together, is to learn to let those little things go. And I was exactly the same. I would go behind my youngest and rearrange the dishwasher because it wasn't done to how I thought was correct. But that's crazy because then I might as well have just done it myself and I'm not freeing up my time. And we've always worked together as a team. My husband's the same. My youngest loads the dishwasher. My husband then washes the rest of the dishes that don't go in the dishwasher. On a weekend, my husband cleans the ensuite, and then my eldest is responsible for cleaning the main bathroom because he and his brother use that. We tend not to. And then my eldest hoovers the whole of the house on a Saturday, and it's great because in the meantime I'm sorting out all of the food prep, I'm sorting out the shopping, I'm making sure the meals are on time, I'm taking care of birthdays, Christmas, and all of that jazz. So it's just like, no,
Right.
we're a unit, and I'm so for families working together, and like you say, and not being a favor, but actually when you work together doing it, you are freeing up time not just for yourself, but as a family unit that you then have more time together. So.
Absolutely, the more time together. Love that. We've been really busy in my house for the past couple of weeks. Not this past weekend, but the weekend before we were out of town. And then the weekend before that, my husband was out of town. And so I have and the laundry is still in the laundry room, like 4 loads of laundry that need to get done. But Sunday is out the time when my husband and I spend together and we do things. So, because I actually ended up working on Saturday, which I don't normally do. So I had the choice. Do I do the laundry because I didn't like seeing it there, or do I close the door to the laundry room and spend time with my husband? I
Absolutely.
chose spend time, and the laundry is still sitting there.
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
And that's fine because the laundry can wait, but that time that you would have been able to spend otherwise is gone, isn't it? So you've got to snatch those
Exactly.
moments when you can and know that it's okay.
Yep. And know that it's okay, that it's not stressing you out. The thing you said about food prep, that is so important. When we prepare and plan ahead, that little bit of time that we take, you get multiple times return on your time. So like for food prep, I call it Sunday setup. It doesn't necessarily have to be Sunday. Pick 1 or 2 days a week that you're going to plan what you're going to eat and then prep. Prep could be, I love cook once, eat multiple times. If you're making a big, like chili or soup or stew or something like that, or chop up the vegetables, cook extra chicken, make a pot of lentils, something that you've prepared ahead of time so that if you don't have leftovers, it's not going to take a ton of time. You already have cooked protein, the veggies are chopped, you throw it together in a pan, you put in your seasonings, you're good to go. It makes it so much quicker.
It's such a useful tip
You do
because
some
especially
prep.
for, mums busy working all day, get into the kitchen and then what's for dinner, that is one of my biggest stressors. If I don't know what I'm cooking for dinner, that is what's going to bring my energy down and zap me out. So that is such a key thing, and it can make such a difference, just those few minutes of prepping. And even if it's
Totally.
just, putting a loose meal plan in place of knowing what you're going to cook each night based on what's in the pantry, that can just be
Yeah.
enough some weeks to know that you're set.
To know that you're set and you don't have to stress out about it. Have you ever seen one of the memes on social where it says something to the effect of, I had no idea that the hardest part about being adult was trying to figure out what's for dinner every night.
It's so true, isn't it?
So true and like ridiculous at the same time. So then home environment too, Sarah, you've already absolutely spoken to this. Connection with your family and friends, making sure to schedule meals, schedule playtime, schedule downtime, schedule whatever you need and want with your family and or your friends so that it happens. Otherwise, 3 weeks later, you'll go, oh man, we haven't spoken. We haven't gotten together. We're passing each other in the hallways, whatever. So, so, so important. Okay, so knowing yourself and taking care of you, right? What makes you feel good, makes you feel centered and grounded and healthy. Those are the things that are going to restore you. Perhaps it's focused breathing, alone time, nature, meditation, walking, prayer, time with family. What makes you feel good, centered, grounded, and healthy? And that's going to restore you. Okay. What makes you feel happy? That's going to raise your energy. Like Sarah, maybe you like to dance around the house. Maybe it's music. Maybe it's time with family or friends. Those are the kind of things that are going to raise your energy. And then what are the things that are depleting you? Pick one from each category that you can remove. And what is no longer negotiable? There are things in your life that you either want to do, be, or have, whatever, right? There are things in your life that you want that have become negotiable. Oh, but the kid needs this, the husband needs this, the business needs that. Think about what is no longer negotiable for you. For me, when one of the things that just popped into my head, I was living in Alaska with my husband. I met him when I grew up in New York. I moved to Minnesota for 3 years. I met him. I followed him to Alaska and I lived with him there for 14 years. The cold really started to affect me physically, mentally, spiritually, and then I knew I had to go. And we had conversations. I mean, like we could have gotten split up over it, but we had a 6-month plan and I talked about it with him. Actually, it was a 5-year plan. And then in the last year, we had a 6-month plan. He didn't realize 5 years was going to happen so fast.
That's the thing, it
But
does though, doesn't it?
it does. He was like, I was a guy about it. I didn't realize that was going to happen so fast. But we had a 5-year plan. I couldn't take it anymore. Hence why I now live in Florida. So it doesn't have to be something major like that. Perhaps it's that you haven't been taking time to meditate or pray or just breathe. Maybe that's no longer negotiable, and you're going to schedule that in your life and in your calendar so that you have 10 minutes or 5 minutes of peace and alone time before the house gets going. Like it could be any range of something quote unquote little to something big, but just think about what is no longer negotiable. All right, putting it all together. Pick one thing that you're going to add and one thing that you're going to move from each of those 4 areas. Write it down and then share it with somebody. Share it with a partner, share it with a friend, a girlfriend, maybe share it with somebody that you're watching this YouTube with, who knows? But that will help to keep each other accountable, okay? So if you're watching this on YouTube or if you're listening to this on the podcast, in Sarah's comment section down below, what shifts did you experience today? Like, what are some aha moments for you? Share those, not only so Sarah could see, but so other people could see your comments. Maybe your aha will spark something in somebody else, in another woman, that they'll be like, oh man, that would be so helpful.
Yeah, definitely
So
share that. That is amazing. And I think just even just like you say, just adding one thing or taking one thing away from each area can make such a difference. And imagine if you just take one thing away from the exercise, the nutrition, the home, and the work environment, how much lighter, how much less stressed you're going to feel, and how much that's going to help, take another step closer to restoring that balance for you when you're working from home and juggling all of the things. And I love definitely share what your aha moments are in the comments, and send us messages on Instagram, because I'll put the links to Laura's Instagram on there as well. Send us DMs with what your aha moments are. And like Laura said, just sharing that is inspiration and motivation for others. And maybe you're coming up with things that other people hadn't thought of. And just being able to take those first steps can make such a difference. This has been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. And there's so many nuggets there, I think, that people are going to be able to take away from that. And yeah, so thank you. It's been
you are
really
so welcome,
insightful.
Sarah. It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Fantastic. So just in wrapping up then, as one question I always like to ask all of the people that come on the show, and then I know that you have a freebie. Actually, you've got a couple of freebies that we're going to share. So first I'm going to ask you the question, and then if you would share with us what the freebies are, and we'll pop the links in the show notes for those. But the question I always like to ask is, what does being an unapologetic mompreneur mean to you, and how are you showing up unapologetically every single day, both as a mum and as the boss of your business?
I love that question. By taking care of me first. On an airplane, we have to put that oxygen mask on ourselves first before we even help our child. If we can't breathe, nobody else can breathe. And so I've really incorporated and worked hard over the decades of making sure that self-care is not selfish. It is mandatory, because when mom is happy, everybody's happy, right?
Absolutely.
So thinking about what are the things in my life that fill my cup and make me want to do the things that I'm doing, and that's the end of the story. That's just it. It's for me so that I can be of service even better to my family and to my clients. And being that light and showing other women, it gives other women permission to do the same.
I love that. Absolutely. And it's so, so important. And I always believe that everything starts and ends with us. And it's just everything is just goes back to that self-care, taking care of yourself, connecting with yourself, developing that self-love and self-trust so that you can then show up and be, you know, the mum, the wife, the biz owner, and everything that you want to be. Fantastic. So to wrap up then, do you want to just share with everybody where they can find you and what your 2 freebies are? And we'll obviously make sure that all the links are in the show notes. But yeah, where can people head and track you down?
Thank you, Sarah. My website is loraulrich.com. I will spell that because both names are different. It's LORAULRICH.com. And Sarah's going to have the 2 different freebies that I have, whichever one resonates with you. One of them is there's 27 quick and easy metabolism boosting recipes ebook. And the other one is something called Love Your Body Manifesto. It's really about loving on yourself and helping you to love yourself, not just your body. So
Fantastic.
Those are 2 of the freebies that Sarah will have links to as well. And on my website, I have a blog, I have recipes, there's all kinds of information and resources and online courses as well. So as Sarah said, I would love, both of us would love to hear what your ahas are and what you're going to commit to make your life better.
Fantastic. That is amazing. Thank you so, so much for that. And definitely go and check out those freebies. I know I'm going to go and get both of those. And yeah, just thank you for taking the time to share such an important message and, you know, just give it some tips that are simple and easy for us to adopt, knowing that even if we just add one and take one of each of those that's lift and depletes from each area, the difference it's going to make. Thank you so much. This has been
You're
so
so
much fun.
welcome, honey. My
Fantastic.
pleasure.
Thanks very much.
you.
Take care, everybody, and we'll speak to you in the next episode. Bye for
Bye,
now.
everybody.
Thank you so much for joining me for another installment of the Unapologetic Mompreneur podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss an episode. And if you have a moment, I would love for you to leave me a rating and a review so that other mompreneurs can find this podcast too. Here's to unapologetically becoming the mum, wife, biz owner, and woman you know you are meant and deserve to be. I can't wait to chat with you in the next episode. Bye for now.